This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
Cool. Today Anna and I are going to be talking about creative ways to get more play into our day with our kids. This is something that parents often talk to us about, and so today we're going to take a deep dive into finding some creative ways to up this play.
Thanks for joining us for Being Real Parents with me, Anna, and my colleague and buddy,
Kate. We work in the parenting space.
And it's here where we'll talk about our worlds as parents, the good, the not so good, and the hilarious, and mix this with what we know about behaviour and psychology.
Hey, Anna. How are you doing?
Good. It's been a little bit stressful getting here today, but that's okay.
One of those mornings?
Yeah, one of those mornings.
We're glad to see your face anyway.
Thank you.
I'm glad that I didn't have to do this podcast by myself.
Oh, you would have been great.
Cool.
All things play.
Yeah, something we talk so much about at Real Parents, hey?
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, we love to talk about play.
Yeah, banging on about play again. Yes. And I was thinking about that on the way here while I was stuck in traffic, and about kind of how play supports me and why, because, you know, I can find every reason in the world not to play with my daughter.
Yeah.
But actually what I kind of feel like I need to focus on sometimes is what are the benefits of it, and actually what do I get out of it selfishly too.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I think though, like, because I'm quite the same, in those moments of playing when I'm like, oh, I need to be doing something else, or oh, I wish I was doing something else.
Yeah, quite.
It is so helpful to think of, like, what is this actually doing for who right now? Like, how beneficial was this? And I don't know, somehow I sink into the play a little bit more when I know that it's actually really benefiting her.
Yeah.
And I love that you've also thought about how it benefits us too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things that I consider a lot when it comes to play is that it's one of those times that if I just go, okay, cool, I'm going to put my phone over there, turn it onto silent or whatever, just like I would at a meeting or whatever, and kind of be here and now. It's one of those times that I can really start to look for what's good and what's right, and how can this be a time that I can kind of relax into it and not have to think about anything else other than being a unicorn or whatever's being asked of me at that time, which is kind of delightful and cool, hey?
Isn't that a beautiful thing? All I need to do right now is be a unicorn.
Go me. And then I'll be told how to do it properly.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Yeah. You're not being the right unicorn.
Yeah, and I think that's what, it's kind of like finding, it's like, I mean, we know when it comes to living a kind of fulfilled and happy life, looking for those little moments of joy is really important in that. And that's a place that actually we get to do that quite significantly, really.
Yeah, that is very cool. I love that. It's another thing I can think of in those moments, hey. I think, for me anyway, having that in the back of my mind of why I'm doing this and why it's important, and actually if I can think of some benefits for me too, then that's just a bonus, hey.
Yeah, so do you want to take us through why it's important for you? What's the things that you have top of mind? So
I think, it's one of the things when I talk to parents, it's one of the first things I kind of check out. How much time are you getting in play? Like, I just feel like it's one of the most important parts of parenting.
Yeah.
And if you've got that in place, then a lot of other things seem to fall into place. And a lot of that comes back to that positive attention, hey? So because you're filling their cup up with some positive stuff, they're not trying to get your attention in negative ways.
Yeah.
So, just strengthening that relationship, that all that connection stuff is what's on top for me.
It's that I've said this before. It's that it's almost like, when they're babies, we're told to skin-to-skin contact because of the importance of attachment. And it's as they grow, I think that becomes play and being with them in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And thankfully not for as longer periods of time.
Yes. And that also helps, I think, sometimes when you're in the midst of that, hey, I'm actually just thinking, I don't need to do this for a huge chunk of time. They actually only need me for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And if I can nail that every day, then I'm doing amazing.
Yeah. Go me.
Yeah.
I did a little... Are you interested in this?
I would love to.
Everyone loves a little lecture, don't they? This is when everyone goes, oh, turn it off. I wish the off function is going to start. And because I did a little bit of research, or I've done, research for presentations around this in the past, and there's a lot of educationalism in play and how it came to be as a really important part of our parenting and relationships with our kids. And Vygotsky, who was an educationalist, and has done most of the research and observational work around play that we needed really to take play seriously, which I love. That's a great phrase, isn't it? Take play seriously.
Yeah.
Because it actually is really serious.
Yeah.
And actually play is essential and fundamental to our well-being even as adults, but we might not call it play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a really important point too. There is that play with our children, absolutely, but there's also finding our ways to play. So that might be playing an instrumental music. It might be having a hobby that we love doing. It might be, physical exercise. It might be spending time in nature, walking, tramping. Those are the things that we don't call play that are actually play for us as adults.
Yeah, we just don't count it as that.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Cool.
And then the play for kids is all about building lifelong skills. It's where they learn to move, the big movements and the pincer, tiny movements. It's about practicing skills. It's about interaction and learning about others. It's about building empathy and understanding and taking the perspective of others. It's about learning about ourselves, how we learn the rules and when to follow them, and when we want to veer away from them. It's where we learn all those communication skills, verbal and non-verbal, and it's where we learn our numbers and our letters and our sounds and the names of manu and dogs and rako, and it's kind of like the greatest learning experience, if you like.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
No wonder we harp on about it so much.
I know, did you like that?
There's a lot going on there, eh?
Yeah. It's also, I think, where our kids learn to make mistakes too. Like it's, if you think about how we learned to ride a bike, it was by making huge amounts of mistakes and then carrying on for that. So they have to have this available to them. Yeah. To be able to make mistakes, be okay with making mistakes.
Yeah. And problem solve too. Hey?
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
There's actual shit tons in it.
So much in it. Well, shall we talk about some ways that we can get more of it into our day as well?
Okay, I think that's a really good point. I think we've banged on enough about the whys. Now it's the hows, yeah?
You're listening to Being Real Parents with Kate and Anna on Plains FM 96.9.
So tell me about how you, busy working mum, get more play into your world.
Yeah, how do I do it? It's
not get more play, just get play in.
Get play in. It's something that people talk about so often to me, hey, like, how do I actually fit it in? And especially for parents that are like, literally, I sometimes, like, in the morning, it's just like routine, get everything ready, off to preschool or school, and I pick them up, might be like after school care that they've put them up from, it's like dinner, like, there's just like, doesn't feel like there's any time. And so I think some of that is around finding some creative extra ways to find ways we can get it in there, eh? So I like to think about things that we have to do anyway.
Yeah.
So it might be jobs or routines or driving in the car, like where are those opportunities that we could get more things in? So even, for instance, like the routine of getting ready for bed, is there a way we can add some fun play into that, is it that we make an obstacle course to get to the bathroom, or like I always remember a parent talking to me about the magic carpet, and the kids would sit on this blanket and Dad would pull them through to the bathroom on the magic carpet.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then the magic carpet leaves the bathroom to go to the bedroom, and just making those ordinary times and those things that we have to do fun.
And memory making.
Yeah, how cool, hey, to think back and remember that.
Yeah.
Other things might be, other special times like reading at bedtime. So I think sometimes we think about play as needing to look a certain way, hey, but actually it's that time together and that connectedness.
Yeah, that's right. We don't always have to play the unicorn game.
Yeah. Yeah. You might need to let Lulu know that.
Yeah, or you can. I'll make her watch. I'll make her listen to this.
Funny.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool, actually. There are those moments. I wrote a piece for Tākai actually around play when we're hoha, or when we're just really tired. And actually we'll link that below because they're just nice little easy ways.
Yeah, nice.
To kind of play with our kids when we're just overwhelmed, too tired, all of those sorts of things as well. So we'll get that in.
Yeah.
But one of the things I've discovered recently, which is a little piece of magic, is Lulu is now 9, and so she is into board games, which I've avoided because nobody wants a board flip moment, do they? And
no one wants
they're just not old enough until then. So anyway, during the holidays, my eldest came home and she, introduced her to the great world of board games. And so actually we'll have our tea now with a board game in the middle.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I feel a bit guilty saying that. Isn't that interesting? But actually it makes for a really good time.
Yeah. And what's really wrong with that?
Yeah. And you don't have to finish. It can stay on the table.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and so that's been really cool. Just easy board games when we've not hit Monopoly yet because I just
that will make for a fun dinner.
Yeah, no.
I think meal times is actually such a great time to add some of this stuff in. Hey, I think I've said before in a podcast about another parent had shared with me that they play the guess of the animal game and you have to act out the animal.
Nice.
It's a favourite at our dinner table. Well, not of my husband's, but of my daughter's. She sits there and says, "Can we play the animal game?" And his face is like, "Oh." It makes for fun times.
That's nice. And that could be anything. Play the emotions game, show the emotion, what emotion am I feeling like? Or acting right now.
Yeah, or I Spy or whatever, but adding that in. And it sometimes can make mealtimes more enjoyable too.
Yeah, rather than focusing on, the kai that they're not eating. Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, I was thinking about kids' ages and stages and how it might be some easy ways to get some play into. I had the helping stuff, so the water in the sink or the, cutting up the lettuce with a, not very sharp knife because that doesn't take much. It's not the carrots. When my kids, I used to get them to clean the bath. Yeah. Which meant that they got into their togs and I gave them a cloth and a spray bottle with water and it might have a bit of vinegar in it or something and they'd get in there and clean the bath.
Nice. That sounds fun. And they think they're doing such a good job helping you too.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if I'm organised during my weekends, with little ones, I'd do ice finds where you just, in an ice cream container, stick some plastic toys or wooden toys and then pour water over them and stick them in the freezer and they can, that can be a happy afternoon outside or...
Yeah, nice. Potions?
And potions, the old leaves and sticks in a bowl.
Yeah.
And petals.
Yeah. And some food colouring.
Oh, yours are posh.
To spice things up a bit.
Yeah, that's nice because what I love about that is the sitting under a tree and just bringing the stuff to you. You're in it, but it doesn't take much from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. I used to play a lot of, my kids used to be doctors a lot. And I would always be the patient. Because that meant I could just sit down and not too much and get my ankles strapped up or a bit of, Vaseline put onto my toe or something.
Yeah. Yeah, hairdressers is a new one that's been happening in our house.
Nice.
I just have to sit there and I end up with 100 clips just randomly, and it's always really awkward when you forget that they're there and then you go, someone comes to the door.
I don't mind us.
Yeah. Any moments where you get to just sit is always always winning, hey?
I always find though, if I need, if I'm feeling a bit, out of sorts, too tired, can't be bothered, going outside just provides the magic that we need because it lifts my mood. But there's always something to explore.
Yeah, for sure. It seems to lift their mood too, hey?
Yeah.
Like it just changes the whole vibe.
Yeah, and you don't need a plan.
No, you don't.
There's always a ball or a hula hoop that, hasn't been run over by the lawnmower.
Something will happen. Yeah, that's cool. The other thing, you're talking about cleaning or helping, can make those things fun also. Another thing I had was around like dressing up to clean. So we're gonna role play or
that's so cute. But I've got maid things going on over here.
Yeah, maybe not maids.
But as animals,
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Spider-Man is cleaning.
Yeah. Super cleaning.
Super cleaning. I love it. Yeah, or hiding things, so making it almost like a scavenger hunt. So we have to put these things away, and we have to find these things in the mix.
Yeah, or find their homes.
Yeah, or find their homes. How good would that be? Adding a timer, making it a race. The kids seem to love that. Hey, wherever it becomes competitive.
Yeah, that's right. Competitive with you, not with siblings. I find it.
Yeah, or they're a team.
Yeah, or the other team, against you. That's exactly right.
Not against each other.
Not against each other.
We don't want to add that. Oh.
Funny.
Yeah, so I guess, and for some people it's about scheduling that time in, hey, whether you have a certain time of the day, every day where you try and get that play in, or whether it's actually, that doesn't work for me, it's just really figuring out, I need to sprinkle this through the day wherever I can.
Yeah. And reminders around the place to let me know to continue to look for those little preciously positive, joyful moments too.
Yeah, definitely.
So something on the fridge that just reminds me in the morning when we're getting ready for school and and even when I'm preparing for tea in the evening as well. Just little things, just little sweet reminders that keep me engaged and thinking about it. Yeah.
So important.
I was thinking older kids, teens as well. And what I used to, so for my older kids, again, the board game card thing is a goodie.
Yeah, nice.
Getting out a big puzzle and just having it somewhere where they'll come to, and then you can join them in there, because it's quite hard to, it gets harder to engage, our teens into play, because their play starts to look like ours, which is, and they may not want us in it. And other things that have really supported sort of joyful going out, going to the beach or for a walk together, anything side by side seems to really help.
Yeah.
Even travelling in the car again, as you say, making those time for hot chocolate or chai latte dates is what we used to call them. So
cute.
And bigger than that is the, going to the library together or going to the art gallery or museum and revisiting those places that they'd been to as kids because they love nostalgia.
Yeah, how cool.
Yeah, and you get to tell those stories or they get to tell you what they remembered, and that's really cool as well.
Yeah.
I've always had a good time with teenagers and water balloons.
Yeah, nuts. They're like for every age, aren't they?
They're for every age, yeah. And there's those lovely biodegradable ones now that we love. And then the other thing to do is just support their hobbies. Like that's the kind of almost boring play that we hate. It's almost the unicorn play becomes supporting their hobby. And their hobby might not be our hobby, but we still have to kind of be there in it and support them and yeah, those sorts of things. Yeah. Yes, I did have to endure violin.
Yeah. Lucky you. Yeah. That's so cool. So important. I'm so glad you brought that up, thinking about how we can do that for our older kids as well, hey?
Yeah, because they still need to find their play too, and we still need to support that and find that time to do it as well. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. My list is exhausted. Of course, we should say here the adventures page.
Sure. Yeah.
So www.realparents.org.nz/adventures will take you to a page on our website that gives you can plug in the ages of your kid, age and stage of your kids, and then also, whether or not you want to spend money or not, and then it will, and what you want to do on that day, and then it will come up with sometimes hundreds of
so many options,
play activities or adventures, and I always find one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good place to go when you are just wanting something new or you're just feeling a bit stuck, hey?
Yeah. So in terms of the top tips, we've got 3 of them. No change there. So number 1 is finding your why. So think about how playing with your kids benefits you and your child, and also have that be as meaningful as possible. Number 2, gets it into the things that you have to do anyway. Or the other thing that we can do too is set ourselves reminders in order to sprinkle it through our days or schedule it in, whatever works for you. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day, in any of those times works. And then, our other third top tip is if all else fails and you're not feeling it, just go outside with them and the magic will happen. It will take care of itself if you like. I do have to say too, that a little plug for an online webinar we've got going tomorrow night. So that's Wednesday, the 21st of February. I've got an hour-long webinar talking all about tamariki wellbeing and resilience. I've worked across most of the national wellbeing campaigns here in New Zealand, and I have a lot to say about this, and and I can't wait to be talking to you about this stuff. So you can get tickets at Humantix. Just look up online events and tap in the word resilient, and you'll see it there under Real Parents. I look forward to seeing you.
Awesome. Thanks for being with us today.
We hope you've learned that while parenting is challenging sometimes, that's totally normal. It's been fun having you with us. Keep being amazing. Bye!